Today we're speaking about, do we believe in love at first sight? Yitzchak and Rivka, she literally fell for him. Remember that song? Since I fell for you. So she literally fell for him in a big way. Do we believe in love at first sight or love at first bite? Now if you look at side number 1, the Medrash and Zohar state, in my handwriting on top of side 1, that God fell in love with Israel, and it was this love at first sight that motivated God to create the world. So the first Rashi in the Torah, God created the universe because he fell in love with us. So what about a shidduch? Is love at first sight kosher?
Yes.
Yes, it's kosher, right? Now, Eliezer goes to find a wife for Yitzchak, right? What is this test? How much Tilim she knows?
No.
The laws of Shabbos?
No, Hesed.
Chesed. Why doesn't he test her about the laws of Shabbos? How much Tilim? She said, what? Chesed. There's a pasuk in Tilim, Olam Chesed Yiboneh. God built the universe that people should do Chesed. And there's a pasuk in Micha, Perik Vav. God tells Micha, Yidlecha Adam. I'll tell you in being Matov. You don't have this on your sheets, but God tells Micha, chapter 6, what is good? Ma Hashem Dorish Mimcha. What does God want from you? Asot Mishpat, to do justice. Vahavas Chesed. Mishpat, it's enough to do justice. But when it comes to Chesed, Moshe, not enough to do Chesed. Vahavas Chesed. But you have to love to do Chesed. So, where do we learn to love to do Chesed? Avraham and Rivka. They don't just do Chesed, they do it with a bren. She runs, he runs. I'm so excited. Because the Navi says, when it comes to Mishpat, it's enough Asot Mishpat. When it comes to Chesed, it doesn't say Asot Chesed, it said what? Ahavat Chesed. You have to love to do Chesed and do it with what? With enthusiasm and passion. And when Yitzchak, when Rivka saw, Eliezer saw how Rivka was doing the Chesed, he knew that this girl belongs where? In the house of Avraham Avinu, because it wasn't just a Chesed, but her compassion, her fiery enthusiasm to run, to love to do Chesed. Now why is Chesed so important? It's a pasuk in Exodus 34. God calls himself Hashem Rav Chesed. So we have a mitzvah, Alachta B'drachav, to walk in God's ways. So therefore, Chesed is all about, God calls himself Rav Chesed, abundance in doing Chesed. So when we do Chesed in an abundant way, we are copying what? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what it's all about. So that's what all about, right? Micha chapter 6, what do we have to do? Asot Mishpat, Ahavas Chesed, V'tznei Alechet Im Alehecha, and to be a tzenua, to be modest, and to also to dress properly. That's all of Judaism, right? Chesed, Mishpat, and to be a tzenua. Why is it so important to dress modestly? Why is modesty so important? Well, Elsie the cow doesn't wear a dress, right? Avraham. Elsie the cow doesn't wear a dress. Why is wearing clothes so important? To be a tzenua. Because when Rivka sees her chassan Yitzchak, what does she do? She covers her face with a veil, right? What is she saying? What is she saying? I'm much more than a pretty face. Love me, not just for my face. Just like the veil is only a covering. The veil is not me, it's a covering. So my face itself is only a covering. Covering for what? For my godly soul. A face can get old and wear out, but my godly soul is eternally young and beautiful. So clothes is so important, tznius, it reminds us that just like the clothes is not me, the clothes is only a covering. So therefore, my body is only a covering. So therefore, if a person doesn't wear clothes, he's saying, I'm no different than a behemoth. What you see is what you get. There's nothing behind the skin. But clothes, tzenua, reminds us that just like the clothes is not me, it's a covering, my body, my face is not me, it only hides who I am. Who am I? And therefore in English, the synonym, you look in the dictionary, the synonym for skin is hide. I'll tan your hide. Why should Webster Dictionary translate skin as hide? I just told you why. Because the skin hides who I am. The skin is not me, it hides who I am. Who am I? A godly soul. So therefore, dressing properly is so important. It reminds me that just like the clothes is not me, it's only a covering, the body is not me. It's only a covering for what? It hides. Skin, I'll tan your hide. It hides who I am, a godly soul, which doesn't get old, which doesn't wear out. So that's Yahadut. Moshe, the last time I checked, I don't see laws of Shabbos and the laws of Nida here. God tells Micha, what do I want from you? Asot mishpat, ahavas chesed, and dress properly. What about the laws of Shabbos? What about the laws of Taharas Mishpacha? Didn't Micha forget something, Sharona? Chesed. Ahavas chesed. The mitzvah to love to do chesed. So chesed is expressed in the zulat, in the other person, do kindness for him. But I'm also Jewish. I have to do chesed for myself. How do I do chesed for myself? If I observe Shabbos and the kashrut and Taharas Mishpacha, I'm doing chesed for myself. Ahavas chesed. To do chesed for the other is do acts of kindness for him. But I'm also Jewish, Ray. How to do chesed for myself? By eating kosher and observing Shabbat, etc. So that's Yahadut. Now, if you look at the side number 1, Bereshit 24, Yitzchak went out walking in the field towards evening. He raised his eyes and saw camels approaching, right? Side number 1. When Rebecca looked up and she saw him, she fell off the camel. She fell for him, Elisheva, in a big way. Get it? And so who is this guy? So she took her veil and covered herself. Don't love me for my pretty face. It's only a veil for my godly soul. Now, Rebecca took a veil, covered herself, right? The servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Yitzchak brought Rebecca into his mother Sarah's tent. He married Rebecca, and then she became his wife. Seems to be redundant to me. If you marry a person, isn't she your wife? He married Rebecca and she became his wife, but this teaches that Judaism has 2 stages for marriage. He married Rebecca, that is the Erisin, the Kiddushin, and the second stage is what? The Chuppah, the Yichud. She became his wife and he loved her. And then Yitzchak was consoled for his mother. So it says first he married her and then he what? But we sing love and marriage, love and marriage. But the Torah says no, marriage and love. So how do you marry somebody you don't love, Abraham? Says he married her and then he loved her. Got to change the song, right, Moshe? So we'll deal with that on side number 2. We'll deal with that on side number 2. But why does she fall off the camel? Now, Chazal tell us that Avram invented the prayer of Shachrit, the morning prayer. And who invented the evening prayer, the afternoon prayer? Yitzchak. Where? In our source, Bereshit 24, Yitzchak went out walking in the field towards evening. Right? Now the word L'suach doesn't mean walking. The word L'suach means to what? Meditate. Towards evening. So who invented the Mincha prayer, Moshe? Yitzchak. Up until now, there was no such thing as Mincha. Yitzchak is inventing it right now. L'suach basodeh, to meditate in the field. Lifnot erev. Up until that time, there was only Shachris, right? So Rebecca's coming back. She only knows about Shachris. There was no Mincha yet. Who is that guy? That's Yechosin. He's davening so late, Shachris? Oh, I'm marrying a Chusid. It's late afternoon and he's davening. What could he be davening? There's no such thing, only Shachris until now, Ray. So she thought she's marrying a Chabadnik. You know, she's davening so late, Shachris, so she fell off the camel. So anyway, davening so late, there was no Mincha yet. Anyway, so she falls off the camel. Vatipo me'al hagamal. You see the next source, Elisheva, Bereshit 24? JPS translation. JPS, what does that stand for? JPS? Jewish Publication Society. She alighted from the camel. Vatipo means to fall. She falls for Yitzchak. Oh, I'm falling in love. Abraham, falling in love. They got everything from us, right? But love should make you rise. What do you say? What do you say? Falling in love. Love should give you a lift, not put you down. Chava, we have a contradiction over here. Why does she fall in love? Love should make you rise, not fall. Very interesting. The Zohar says that a person cannot rise up to love God unless he first what? Loves his wife. That's why getting married and having babies is the first mitzvah in the Torah. It says, "V'dovak be'ishto, v'atem adveikim Hashem alakechem." So the Zohar says a person cannot really be attached to God unless he's first what? V'dovak be'ishto. Ooh, v'dovak be'ishto. Only then can you graduate to be madly in love. First you have to be madly in love with your spouse, and then you can graduate to be madly in love, Chava, with the one above. So again, I don't know why it's called falling in love. It should be rising in love. So I leave that to you. I don't know.
Maybe that explains the haser.
What?
Haser vav or something. Oh, no, wait.
No, well, why falling? It should be rising in love,
Right.
not falling in love. Huh? She fell for him in a big way, right?
Right.
She fell for him in a big way. But it's just incredible. Shir Hashirim is a passionate love song between what? God and the Jewish people. But it's written as a passionate love song between a man and a woman. Remember that movie, A Man and a Woman? So the question is that if it's not really a passionate love between a man and a woman, it's a passionate love between what? God and the Jewish people. So why don't you say so? Why do you have to hide Shir Hashirim as a passionate love between a man and a woman, and Chazal say, no, it's really what? Between God and the Jewish people. So why not say so? What, are you playing around with me? If it's between God and the Jewish people, Elisheva, say so. Why do you have to write it as passionate love between a man and a woman, and it's pretty graphic, and say, oh no, it doesn't mean that, it means what? God and the Jewish people. So why don't you say what you mean? You know what the Zohar says? Because you can't be madly in love with the one above, as we said, unless you're madly in love with your spouse. Only a person that experiences passionate physical love for his spouse, only that person can be madly in love with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So therefore, the love between God and the Jewish people is written as a love song between a man and a woman, because if you don't experience that in the physical sense, you cannot graduate to what? Be passionately in love with HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
What happens before they get married?
So you have to get married as soon as possible. Right?
At least a few.
Right? V'dovak be'ishto v'hatam adveikim Hashem b'lekechem. It's only twice the Torah uses that. V'dovak be'ishto v'hatam adveikim. And therefore getting married is what? The first mitzvah in the Torah? Pretty incredible. The opposite of what? Of Christianity. Right? Just the opposite. The act of getting married is called kiddushin. It's called kiddushin. Holiness. You can't achieve holiness unless first you what? Cling to your wife. The Zohar says a person cannot appreciate Hashem Echad unless he first should I repeat that? The Zohar says that. You can't appreciate Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad unless you first experience V'hoya l'basar echad. You become with your wife one flesh by having what? Marital relations. That's pretty incredible. There's an amazing Tosfot, Moshe, Chagigat Avbet. You can look it up. Every time a person has relations with his wife, even though it doesn't result in the birth of a child, you're still doing Puruvu. Isn't that incredible? Tosfos Chagigat Avbet. Every time a person is with his wife, according to halacha, they do the mitzvah Puruvu, even though there's no child born. They're beyond the bearing of age. And the Ben Ish Chai says something incredible. You're sitting down. Every time a person's with his wife, even though it doesn't result in the birth of a baby, you're creating the Neshamas and Shemayim. Ben Ish Chai says that. So a person comes together with his wife, come together right now, even though there's no physical baby born because they're beyond bearing age, but they do create what? What, Moshe? Neshamas Neshamayim. Who says this? The Ben Ish Chai. You're creating souls through the act of intimacy. I'm a soul man. Wow. Now look at the Rashbam, the bottom of page number 1. Why did she fall off the camel? What does the Rashbam say, Moshe? Have that? Rashi's grandson. She fell off the camel for modesty since she had been riding like a man because of the camel's kicking. What does that mean? She wasn't riding side saddle. Remember Annie Oakley?
What is kicking?
Kicking. The camel was kicking.
Oh.
Kicking, right? Look, vatipa mala gamal litzniut. Lifi shehoyto chevet kamo ish. Because the camel was kicking her, so she was embarrassed. What? So why does the Torah have to tell me this for? Why is that important? The Torah doesn't tell me any Sipurim, Moshe. The Torah is God's GPS. What's the message over here? Now, do we believe in love at first sight? A guy walks up to a girl at a party and he says, do you believe in love at first sight? She says no. He walks around the room again and he comes to her. Do you believe in love at second sight? Walks around the room one more time, okay? So anyway, it looks like the, Yitzchak and Rivka was really what? Love at first sight. That's what it looks like. Now let's go to side number 2. This is Sforno. They want to know why she fell off the camel, see? She bowed her head to Yitzchak from her seat on the camel as a sign of respect. What's the teaching? You have to respect your husband, but the husband has to respect the wife, right? It's a two-way street, right? So the second source, Bereshis 24:67. Now, see, Rabbi Hirsch has a problem with this. It should say, first he loved her, and then he what? But it says no. Vayikach et Rivka, he married Rivka, she became his wife. After they did Kedushin, and they did what? Nesuin, 2 stages in marriage in the Jewish law. And only then he loved her. And only then what? He loved her. So Rashi says over here that he was consoled, the Torah says he was consoled for his mother, right? That when his mother was alive, there were 3 miracles, right? The Friday night candle remained lit, and the bread remained fresh all week, even though there was no toaster oven, and the God's Shekhinah hovered over the tent. And when Sarah died, all these 3 miracles what? Stopped, even though Abraham was alive. And when he married Rivka, all these miracles what? Came back. So we see that Sarah and Rivka were greater than what? Abraham. Because in Abraham's chus, there was no miracles. Sarah died, the miracles went away. When did they come back? Not in Abraham's chus, in Rivka's chus. Now these 3 miracles, what? That the dough remained fresh, the bread remained fresh all week, the candle remained lit, and the God's presence hovered over the tent. Where do you see these miracles, Moshe? In the Mishkan. The Ramban points out that these miracles, the Ner Maravi remained lit all week, the Western candle. The Lechem Apana remained hot and fresh all week, even though there was no toaster oven. And the God's Shekhinah hovered over the tent. So the Ramban says that the Mishkan was a replica, not of Abraham's tent, of whose tent? Sarah and Rivka. Incredible. Ramban says that the Mishkan was a dugma of the tent of Sarah and Rivka. And those miracles that took place in Sarah's tent exactly took place what? In the Mishkan, the lechem upon remained hot and fresh all week. Like Sarah's bread remained hot and fresh, even though they had no what? Microwave, right? And the what? The candle remained lit all week. And the Anan, God's presence in a cloud, hovered over the tent. Now, why dafka these three mitzvot? These three mitzvot, these three miracles. Why not other miracles? Why dafka these three mitzvot? If you look in the Mishnah Masechta Shabbat, there are three mitzvahs that are specifically handed over to a woman. What are they? The Rosh Tevis Moshe's Chana. Chala, Nida, Hadlakas Haner. Those three mitzvahs are handed over specifically to women. The Mishnah Shabbos says that. These miracles represent Chala, Nida, Hadlakas Haner. The candle remained lit all week. Sarah's candle, Rivka's candle, Hadlakas Haner. Chala, the bread remained what? Fresh and hot all week. And the Anan, hovering over the tent, testified that she kept the laws of Nida. So why these three mitzvot and why these three miracles? If you want to sum up Yehadut in one acronym, it's Chana. What does Chana stand for? FBI, CIA, NYPD. Chala, Nida, Hadlakas Haner. If you want to sum up Yehadut, that's it. I'll prove it to you. You check the list of the 613 mitzvot. All of them are all about Kedushas HaMakom, Kedushas HaGuf, Kedushas HaZman. Any of the Taryag mitzvot, it's either to sanctify place, to sanctify the body, or to sanctify Zman. That's Yehadut. And that's exactly what Chana is. Chala, Nida, Hadlakas Haner. Where is Chala baked? In the home. That represents Kedushas HaMakom. When the lady bakes Chala in a home, she's bringing Kedusha into her home. Chala's baked in the home. Nero, what? Nida. That's Kedushas HaMakom. By observing the laws of Nida, what is she doing? Kedushas HaGuf. She's saying that not just my soul is holy, I can bring Kedusha into my body. I'm not a sex object. Through the laws of Nida, the Jewish woman says that my body is holy as well, not just my soul. And what's the third mitzvah ladies have? Hadlakas Haner, Kedushas HaZman. So Chala, Kedushas HaMakom, Nida, Kedushas HaGuf, and Hadlakas Haner, Kedushas HaZman. When lady lights the candles Friday night, what is she doing? She's sanctifying time. Kill time, waste time. No, I can elevate and sanctify time. How does a lady do that? Lighting the candles. How does she sanctify her body? The laws of Nida, Taras HaMashpacha. She's sanctifying her body. My body is not a plaything. It can be holy like my soul. And when she bakes challah, she's sanctifying what? Home. That's Yehadut. Check any of the mitzvot, Sharona. They're all about Kedushas HaMakom, all about Kedushas HaGuf, and all about what? Kedushas HaZman. That's Yehadut. So these three mitzvahs are given specifically to what? Why not us, Moshe? We can't be trusted. We fall for shlufen. The ladies are trusted with Yehadut. God says, I can't trust the men folk. Sometimes they're out to lunch, but you ladies I can trust. I give you challah, nida, hadlakas haner, kedushas hamakom, kedushas haguf, kedushas hazman. That's Yehadut. You ladies can be trusted. That's the ikar of Judaism. Check the list of the 613 of Yaakov. It's either sanctifying place, sanctifying body, or sanctifying what? Time. Now why is that Yehadut? Why? The Rambam says something incredible. The main difference between this world and life after life, the main difference between the physical world and the spiritual world, says Rambam, is these three ideas. In this world, we're confined to a place. Elishev, if I'm in this room, can I be in the next room?
No.
In this world, in the physical world, I'm confined to a place. If I'm here, I can't be there. In this world, I'm trapped in my bodysuit, goof. And in this world, I'm bound by time. In Olam Haba, says Rambam, you're above place, you're outside of your body, and you're outside of time. So Judaism is all about sanctifying place, body, and what? Time, because Yahadut is the bridge that connects the physical world to the spiritual world. So when you're observing Yahadut, you're having an out-of-body experience. I'm above time. I'm outside of my body, and I'm outside of my place. Yahadut is all about makom, guf, and zman, because that's the main difference between the physical world and, Shelley, the spiritual world. So Judaism is that bridge that connects the physical and the spiritual. That's the tafkid of mitzvot, Moshe, to have an out-of-body experience. When a lady goes to the mikvah, she's having an out-of-body experience. When a lady lights the candles Friday night, Shelley, she's above time. And when she bakes the challah in her home, her place, she's rising above her physical place. She's connecting what? With eternity. That's Yahadut. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
The difference between this world and the next is Chana. Chala, Kedushas HaMakom, right? Nida, Kedushas HaGuf, and Hey, Hadlokat HaNerot, what? Is Kedushat what? Kedushas HaZman. That's what it's all about. That's Yahadut. And that's why these three miracles happened in what? In Rivka's tent and Sarah's tent, and also in the Mishkan, because the Mishkan was a replica of not Abraham's tent, not Yitzchak's tent, not Yaakov's tent, but whose tent? Sarah and Rivka. Sarah and Rivka. Ladies have it way above us. Now, the Zohar said there are 5 individuals that had love at first sight. Let's count. There were 5 individuals that had what? Love at first sight. Look at Bereshit 2, number 1. You see that? Bereshit 2? Yoshev, you want to read that? Bereshit 2, number 1. Adam exclaimed, this time,
bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one shall be called woman, for she was taken from man.
You know what when he saw Chava, you know what he said? You're the only one for me. Get it? The only one for me. The only one. Huh? You're the only one for me, what?
But you know,
Now, yes?
it really is true, because I know they say, well, there's no place where she was taken. But a woman and a man both have male and female characteristics.
Right.
So it shows that they really were
That he, right? Now, how did he take he took the rib from her, right? Why didn't he take a pinky? Why did God take a rib? Why not a nose?
From him or for her.
Why did he take something inside?
Close to his heart.
Why didn't he take his heart?
very good.
Now, why not an outside, Mash? You ever wonder? Therefore, women have the ability to see right through. You can't fool them. Abraham was fooled by whom? By Ishmael. Sarah wasn't fooled. Yitzchak was fooled by whom?
Esav.
Was Rivka fooled?
No.
Why not? Because women are taken from where, Moshe? From inside. So they have the ability to see right through. They can x-ray you. Because they're taken from the inside. You can't fool them. Many men are taken in. But the women have the Bina Yetera. Women's intuition. Because they're taken from inside. They're not fooled by what? By what's the word?
Appearances.
Appearances. Right? pretty amazing. Now, we say at the Sheva Brachas, Sameach Yitzchak Began Eden. We say at the Sheva Brachas, may God make the couple happy like He made the first couple happy in Gan Eden. Baruch Ato Hashem, v'sameach chatan v'kala. What are we mixing the Gan Eden for? Gan Eden was 6,000 years old. We say, may God make this chos and kala happy as He made happy the first couple what? In Gan Eden. Why do we say that the Sheva Brachas for? Just like the first couple in Gan Eden, there was only them. Each one was for the other one because what? There was nobody else. So chos and kala have to know that just like Adam and Chava were meant for each other, because there was nobody else, each chos and kala is what? They're meant for each other. As far as they're concerned, there's nobody else. Sameach Yitzchak Began Eden. Baruch Ato Hashem Sameach Chatan V'Kala. Now, I hope it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Unfortunately, the Reform rabbis are making gay marriages. And I read this, I hope it's not true. But under the chuppah, instead of saying Baruch Ato Hashem Sameach Chatan V'Kala, they say Baruch Ato Hashem Sameach Chatan V'Chatan. Lo Yaleinu. I read this in the paper. What? There's a Reform marriages where the rabbi blesses them B'sameach Chatan, not Chatan V'Kala, but Sameach Chatan V'Chatan. And when he marries two women, he makes Baruch Hashem and Sameach Kala V'Kala. So isn't that blasphemy, Moshe? I think it's blasphemy. But anyway, Shem Yazor. So the first love at first sight, the Zohar said there were 5, Elisheva. The first one was what? Adam and Eve, right? Not Adam and Steve. Adam and Eve, right? They're the only one for me, right? And the second one, who was the second one? Bereshit 24. She fell off the camel, right? She fell for him. Love at first sight. Who's the third one? The bottom of the page. Bereshit 29. Barachal boy matzon, Asher Leviah. V'ikashero Yaakov et Rachel, bas Lavan achiimo, v'estzon Lavan achiimo, v'yigash Yaakov v'yogel et oeven, al pnei aber, v'yashkes atzon, Lavan achiimo, v'yishak Yaakov v'Rachel. And then he cried. So number 3, Elisheva. You want to read that? Rachel appeared with her father's sheep. She was a shepherdess, right?
Yes.
And Jacob looked at his cousin Rachel. He never met her before, right? Who was with his uncle Laban's sheep. He stepped forward, rolled the stone from top of the well to demonstrate how powerful he was, watering his uncle Laban's sheep. Jacob kissed Rachel. They kissing on the first date? It was a blind date, wasn't it? Jacob kissed Rachel and then he cried. Why did he cry? Because he kissed her on the first date?
No, maybe.
Why did he cry?
They wouldn't be buried
Love
together.
at first sight.
So what are you crying about now? What are you worried about being buried for? What are you crying for now? What? So the Even Ezra points out, if you know Hebrew, Vayishak, look at the Hebrew, you have that, Avram? Vayishak Yaakov v'Rachel. In Hebrew, a kiss on the mouth would be Vayishak Yaakov et Rachel. Vayishak Yaakov v'Rachel, not es Rachel, says Even Ezra, it means he kissed her on the hand. Because after all, he's a Haredi yeshiva boy, right? He's Vayishak Yaakov, if it would have said Vayishak Yaakov et Rachel, that would be kissed her on the mouth. But it says Vayishak Yaakov le Rachel, so Even Ezra says it was a form of greeting in the ancient world. It was a form of greeting when you kiss someone on the hand. And he did it to honor his mother, because this was what? His cousin. But then why did he cry? Why did he cry? Because he wasn't going to be, what? Buried with her, right? So why cry about it now? Why cry about it now? Who asked that question? I'm glad you asked that question. Okay? So Rashi says, one reason, like Mickey said, Rashi, another reason is that when his father did a shidduch, the servant came with what? A lot of goodies. Gold, silver, jewelry. And he came with nothing. Because Eliphaz mugged him, remember? Right. Rashi quotes Chazal that Esav sent his son Eliphaz to kill Yaakov. Oh. But Eliphaz studied by Yitzchak, so he had Rachmanis. He says, listen, my father told me what? I got to kill you. I'm a good son, right? I got to listen to my father. So he says, listen, I got to kill you. He says, take all my money. Ani choshev kemet. Ani choshev kemet. You can tell your father you killed me. If you rob me and you leave me penniless, then it's like what? I'm dead. So he came as a schnorrer. He had nothing. Not even to give her what? A crackerjack ring. So therefore he cried, Ani choshev kemet. Why is a poor person considered what? Dead. You ever wonder? So what? So why is he dead? Remember we said, Kani, Olam Chesed Yiboneh. Remember we said that this world was built on what? To do chesed one for the other. If a person is penniless and he has no money, how could he do chesed? He might as well be dead. Wow. Olam Chesed Yiboneh, Shelley. We were created to do chesed for each other. That's why he put us here. If a person is penniless and he can't pay his bills, how could he do chesed to other people? He can't. He might as well be dead. What a powerful message. If we're not doing chesed, then why do we stick around here? So anyway, he came penniless, and therefore he cried. He had nothing to give his bride, unlike his father came with a lot. Remember, the servant came, 10 camels loaded with what? With goodies, right? So, that's number 3, right? Who's the 4th couple? Love at first sight? David and Abigail. How do you know that?
David and Abigail?
David and Abigail. That's right. He took one look at her. You're from me. But the problem was she was a married woman at the time. She was married. Oh, okay. She was married. So she said to him, listen, hands off. I'm a married woman. So what happened to Naval? Got a heart attack and a stroke, right? And then King David married her. But it's incredible how Tanakh doesn't cover up. King David was a normal person, and he had, he was excited. He saw her. And she held him back. Can you imagine that? And Naval died of a heart attack, remember, or a stroke. And then King David married her. What? Abigail.
What happened to Bathsheba?
No, you're mixing up. He had 18. Take a scorecard. David had 18 wives. Bathsheba's a different story. Uriah the Hittite, that's a different story. Can we talk? Let's get, problematic over here. Right? Before he married Bathsheba, he had Abigail. Right? So Abigail, he didn't take her until the husband died. Then he took her. Bathsheba is another story. Bathsheba is another story. But Chazal tell us that Bathsheba was a divorced woman, because every soldier that went into King David's army gave his wife a get. So there shouldn't be no MIAs. Was that what they called it? MIAs? MIAs, right? So actually Bathsheba was what? Was a divorced woman. Okay, so the 4th was what? David and Abigail. And who was the 5th? David and Bathsheba. David and Bathsheba. David and Abigail was the 4th. And the 5th was what? David and Bathsheba. It's incredible. David and Bathsheba, she had a get. The oral Torah said she had a get, but the written Torah doesn't say that. The written Torah seems to say that what?
He sent her,
and yet,
he sent him into battle.
He sent him into battle.
Into the front
To get killed, right? But she had a get already, 1 minute. But it's just incredible that the heir to the throne is Shlomo, the son of what? Of David and Bathsheba. Isn't that strange? The heir to the throne comes from David and Bathsheba. What is the message, Masha? What's the message? Things are not always the way they appear. It looked like David did hanky-panky, right? But the Navi said, you sinned. It wasn't adultery, it was appearances. It's still not right, you know? Still not right what you did, even though she had a get, but that's not the way you go, right? And why did he send them to be killed? What?
So he wouldn't feel guilty. Oh, no, I think
he was a Mordechai. He insulted the king. Elisheva, you know, we got to talk over here, right? He insulted the king. He disobeyed the direct order of the king, and he insulted the king. So he was considered a Mored B'Malchus, who's Chayiv Mitah. But David should not have knocked him off this way. He should have put him on trial. But the greatness of the Torah is, Elisheva, there's no cover-ups. The Torah tells it like it is. The greatest people are human, and they make mistakes, and there's no cover-ups. And just the opposite. We think the greater a person is, the less is his Yetzer Hara. The Talmud in Sukkah 52 says the opposite. The greater a person is spiritually, the greater is his what? Yetzer Hara. Since King David and the other biblical heroes were such spiritual giants, therefore the Yetzer Hara was what? So powerful. Why? Because if they're way up there in the spiritual world, and the Yetzer Hara is down here, they're robots. There's no challenge. So the greater a person is, his Yetzer Hara has to rise with him. Otherwise, there's no challenge. He might as well be a robot. What makes a person great? It's the struggle with the Yetzer Hara. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's the struggle with the Yetzer Hara that makes a person great. If he's way above his Yetzer Hara, no pain, no gain. We only grow from our struggle. It's the constant tension that makes us great. So therefore, since King David was so great spiritually, therefore his Yetzer Hara was so powerful. And what's our tafkid? We shall overcome. Strange Gemara in Avodah Zarah. The Gemara in Avodah says, when Mashiach comes, God will remove the Yetzer Hara. It says the Rishoyim will cry and the Tzaddikim will cry. Why will the Rishoyim cry?
Because the Yetzer Hara would have been so easy to...
Because the Rishoyim will see the Yetzer Hara as what? As an anthill. An anthill. And the Rishoyim will cry, an anthill. I couldn't defeat that. Oh, what a dumb cup. Why will tzaddikim cry, Shelley? They'll see the Yetzer Hara as Mount Everest.
And they managed to conquer it.
Mount Everest. So why are they crying?
They won't have to do it again.
Why are they crying? They should be what? Celebrate, says the Marsha. Because if there's no Yetzer Hara, if there's no mountains to climb, Connie, I stagnate. Remember that Pepsi commercial? No pain, no gain. The guy's working out. If you don't work out, you become flabby. Your muscles become flabby. If that's true in the physical world, Masha, it's certainly true what? Tzaddikim will cry. If there's no Mount Everest to climb, Ray, if there's no challenges left, what am I going to vegetate? I'm going to stagnate. That's why they're going to cry. So Chavetz Chaim says you have to chapper right now. Now you have to fight with the Yetzer Hara. Right? You win some, you lose some. When Mashiach comes, it'll be over. No pain, no gain. We're just going to coast. So therefore, the tzaddikim will also cry. If there's no pain, there's no gain. So therefore, now is the time to what? We shall overcome. This week's parasha. Esav was born red. Rashi said he'll be a shoifer damim. He'll be a spiller of blood. So what do you want from poor Esav? Poor Esav, what do you want? He's going to destined to be a spiller of blood. So why are you holding him accountable for? What do you want from him? It says by King David also Admoni. Yeah, right. King David was also born red. He's also supposed to be a spiller of blood. Right. They both had a tendency to what? To spill blood. So Esau spilled innocent blood. David spilled the blood of Abu Mamza terrorists. Every person is born with what? With base instincts, with tendencies. What's our tafkid, Masha? To channel them, to control them. Esau could have been King David. Should I repeat that? Esau could have been King David, and King David could have been what? Esau. We're all born with tendencies, with impulses. And our challenge, Avram, is what? To challenge, to control them, to manage them. Esau chose not to. King David chose yes to. Don't cop out. The devil made me do it. Rise to the occasion. King David's supposed to shed blood. Whose blood did he shed? Abu Mamzer. Hamas, Hezbollah. Right? Our peace partners. Way to go. Esau shed innocent blood. It didn't have to be that way. Right? People say the devil, I'm born with tendencies. You don't have to be a ligbit. Control yourself. Person says he has a tiger to be a beastie boy. Control yourself. Right? A person is born with tendencies, and his tafkid is to control himself, not to give in to his tendencies. But today everything is what? Give in. Give in. Go for it, right? Shem Yazor. Thursday we have a shiur at 2:30 right after the movie. Thursday at 2:30 right after the movie. Thank you.